Hello students, I welcome you all once again. In the previous classes, we have learned about substitution reactions of alkyl halides. Okay, and we have also seen that nucleophilic substitution reactions of alkyl halides are of two types. What are they, students? Do you remember? SN1 and SN2 reactions. Okay, so we also have learned about SN1 reactions, which are also called as unimolecular nucleophilic substitution reactions. Okay, so we have seen what SN1 reactions are, and the stereochemistry of SN1 reactions we have seen, and energy profile diagram of SN1 reactions, and also factors affecting rate of SN1 reactions as well. Okay, so hope you have watched all those videos, students. Kindly watch and write down all the points. Okay, now in this video, that is in the present class, we will be learning about SN2 reactions. Okay, so the difference between SN1 and SN2. SN2 are also called as bimolecular nucleophilic substitution reaction. What is it, students? Bimolecular nucleophilic substitution reaction. So what are these SN2 reactions? What exactly are these SN2 reactions? These are the nucleophilic substitution reactions which occur through bimolecular mechanism. What are they, students? The nucleophilic substitution reactions which take place through bimolecular mechanism. You remember SN1 reactions, they proceed through unimolecular mechanism. But here SN2 reactions, they proceed through bimolecular mechanism. And the rate of these reactions, it depends on concentration of alkyl halides as well as nucleophile. In those reactions, that is SN1 reactions, we have seen rate depends on concentration of only alkyl halide. But here the rate of SN2 reactions, they depend on the concentrations of both alkyl halides as well as nucleophile. Okay, so here below I have written rate is proportional to concentration of Rx, that is alkyl halide, and concentration of nucleophile. Okay, and these reactions are completed just only in one step. Okay, so what is this one-step mechanism of SN2 reactions? Okay, now look at the example given here, students, carefully. The example taken is hydrolysis of methyl bromide by aqueous KOH. What is methyl bromide? CH3Br is called as methyl bromide. What is the meaning of aqueous KOH? What is KOH? Potassium hydroxide plus water, that is called as aqueous KOH. Okay, now hydrolysis of methyl bromide. Okay, now hydrolysis means addition of water. So what is the nucleophile in water? OH minus. Okay, now look here below I have written CH3Br methyl bromide, and OH minus is attacking the carbon atom. Okay, the first step goes like this, students. OH minus ion. What is it called as? It is called as hydroxide ion, and this is the nucleophile. Okay, now it attacks the carbon atom with its pair of electrons. So from which side it is attacking this carbon of methyl bromide, students? It is not coming from the side where bromine atom is attached to carbon, but it is coming from the back side. That means from the side opposite to that of bromine atom. Can you observe that in the figure? Okay, so OH minus ion starts or begins to share its electron with the carbon atom from the side which is opposite to that of bromine atom. That is the first point that you should write under this example, students. Okay, now so when OH minus ion attacks the carbon atom, slowly what happens? Bromine atom starts going away from carbon atom along with its shared pair of electrons. Okay, that students, here there will be two electrons between carbon and bromine, right? So what bromine will do is it starts coming outside. That means it starts leaving carbon along with the 2 electrons. Okay, so that's what we say. Bromine atom starts parting away with its shared pair of electrons from the carbon atom. Okay, now, so look at after the arrow, what I have written here, mentioned here, that is the transition state. Okay, OH minus ion nucleophile starts sharing its electrons with the carbon atom, and bromine atom starts leaving away with its shared pair of electrons. Okay, so this is the intermediate state, students, which is called as transition state. Okay, and OH and Br are partially attached to the carbon atom. Therefore, we are showing it with dotted bonds, not solid lines. Okay, hence we say it is a transition state or the intermediate state. Understood, students? Next, finally what happens? The carbon bromine bond, that is CBr bond, is completely broken. Okay, CBr bond is completely broken. How it is broken? By the energy liberated during the formation of COH bond. Students, look here. In hydrolysis, OH minus ion is attacking the carbon atom from backside. That means from the side opposite to that of bromine atom. Okay. So slowly bromine is coming out with its pair of electrons. Okay. So now a transition state is being formed in which Br and OH are both partially attached to the carbon atom. Okay. So now this carbon bromine bond completely breaks away. For this breaking of carbon bromine bond, it needs some energy. So where from it is getting its energy? See, COH bond, a new bond is being formed. Na? So when a new bond is being formed, some energy will be liberated. So with the help of that energy, CBr bond is totally broken. Okay. Now the OH group, it takes its place just opposite to bromide ion. Okay, you can notice this in the figure. So bromine in methyl bromide, it is on right side, but now OH is on left side. Okay, so therefore we say the OH group takes its position just opposite to that occupied by the bromide ion. Okay, now what is the final product formed here, students? Can you name this compound CH3OH? It is called as methyl alcohol. Okay, so look at the configuration of methyl alcohol. It has just opposite configuration to that of bromide. Bromine atom is on right side, bromide group, and OH group, that is hydroxy group, is on left side in methyl alcohol. Okay, so we say that the alcohol formed has opposite configuration to that of bromide. Clear, students? Okay, hope I made this example clear for you. So look at all these points what I have explained to you. The hydroxide ion begins to share its electrons with carbon from the side opposite to that of bromine atom, and simultaneously the bromine atom starts parting away with its shared pair of electrons from the carbon atom, and this state is represented as transition state where both OH and Br are partially linked to the carbon atom, and finally CBr bond is fully or completely broken by the energy liberated during the formation of COH bond, and the OH group takes away or takes the position which is just opposite to that occupied by the bromide ion. Okay, clear? Okay, now the alcohol, that is methyl alcohol, formed has opposite configuration to that of bromide. Okay, students, now the change in the configuration, okay, is known as Walden inversion. What is it, students? Underline this point. The change in configuration is known as Walden inversion. Spelling WALDENINVERSION. Why? Because the alcohol formed has opposite configuration to that of methyl bromide. Okay, this change in configuration is called as Walden inversion. Okay, hence the reaction is said to proceed with inversion of configuration. There is no retention of configuration like in SN1 reactions, students. Here reaction is said to proceed with inversion of configuration, and since the rate determining step involves two molecules, the mechanism is termed as bimolecular and is labeled as SN2. Okay, so the rate determining step involves two molecules. What are they, students? Methyl bromide plus nucleophile, that is OH minus. So, as two molecules are being involved in the rate determining step, the mechanism is said to be bimolecular and is labeled as SN2. Okay, clear? Is it interesting, students? Fine. Okay, so write down all the points in your notebook and learn SN2 mechanism carefully. Okay, kindly watch all my upcoming videos. Don't miss any of the videos, students. Okay, thank you.